All right, you already know what it is. Fourth Quarter Boy Sports. It is me, the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life, man, for life. Hit that notification icon, get notified every time I flip out a video. So we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears offense, with Luke Getsy and what he's going to bring to the table, how he's going to build the offense around Justin Fields and his strengths. So they're not saying a lot right now. I think they wanted to get some guys in the building that could run some routes. Then they got Equanimeous St. Brown to be that go-up-and-get-it guy. Some guys that Justin Fields could work out with. Some guys that had some years in the league, are looking to work hard, looking to solidify themselves a spot. And, to be honest with you guys, I have to do an about-face and sort of change my position and open up my perspective to what Ryan Poles is really trying to do as far as laying the groundwork. Yeah, I was a little butthurt about the defense. All the players that were walking out the door. It just didn't seem like Ryan Poles really saw any value in any of those guys. And we understand that this is a business, and in business, sometimes cruel decisions have to be made. Not even cruel, but, drastic changes must be made sometimes. And to lay this foundation, we're going to have to start from the bottom. We're going to have to get some guys that are getting ready to hit their peak in their careers, guys that are still looking to make a name for themselves. And that's the environment that Ryan Poles is generating right now. And that's what I think a lot of the players that are coming here are looking for. A place where they can make their name, a mark in the NFL, be a part of something bigger than themselves. We can make this defense famous, and we could all go down in history. So, with that in mind, if the guys he's bringing in has that sort of mind state, we know they're going to work hard. We know they're going to put in extra hours. And that's a really good foundation to start from. Once you have that laid, anybody else that you bring into your organization, must fall in line and have those expectations ahead of time before signing that contract. So just going a little bit deeper into the Ryan Poles tenure, like I said before, I did have my questions. I still have the same reserves about, the tenders that he handed out, but I won't belabor the point. But I have to say that, just kind of looking at things a little deeper and some of the extra signings that he had in the last week or so, things are starting to fill in and shape up for that defense. And there are not as many holes to fill as there were before. When you look at the type of players that he's brought in right now, players that still want to make a name for themselves, players that have something to prove, and some players that have been able to be productive when they have had their opportunities to play. Now, when you talk about Justin Fields and his performance last season, it's nothing to write home about. Yeah, there were some highlights, and there were some times where you can see that the game was slowing down and that he was comfortable. I really believe that Matt Nagy did him a disservice last season. Not saying that you had to simplify the offense, but once again, this is a franchise quarterback from a lot of people that have opinions about it, that are respected. This is a guy that you could shape and mold, and he could win you some games. And I think a foundation wasn't laid for Justin Fields when he was drafted. One of the worst things that could have happened to Justin Fields was to be coached by Matt Nagy in a lame duck year when he was probably going to get fired by the end of the season. We predicted that he would get fired in mid-season, but that didn't happen. He lasted the whole season. And, he painted a picture of a coach that didn't need to have another year in Chicago. By the way he coached Justin Fields, by his play calling, I just, think he really lost the team totally this year. With this new coaching staff, with what Luke Getsy will be able to teach him about the offense and his rules to the offense and the different foundational pieces that Justin Fields will operate from, will let him flourish as a young quarterback in his second year. Once the foundation is laid for Justin Fields, I think his quarterback play will be amazing. So going to Luke Getsy, and we're talking about the type of style of offense that he'll be running in Chicago, you'll hear people talk about the zone run scheme, inside and outside, leading that into play action, and also using a lot of motion to reveal what the defense is going to be doing, to reveal blitzers, to reveal man and zone and things like that. It takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. The key to the offense as well is being able to adjust. And that's one thing I've heard Eberflus and Ryan Poles mention a lot is mid-game adjustments, the things that you see, and how you could use your offense and fine-tune it as you go along. Again, all of the concepts and offensive styles that can be run, that's just chitter chatter unless you lay the foundation first. And I think that's the key to unlocking Justin Fields to get to his full potential. But when it comes to Justin Fields, and then you talk about the type of talent that he could be and his potential, it really wasn't tapped into last season. This season, some of the things that I look to see him improve on is getting the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker, not being so reluctant to take the check down. And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, the check downs that Matt Nagy had were non-existent. I would definitely like to see Justin make those improvements, and I think that that'll be a big improvement on the offense in general. One must also consider when talking about Justin Fields' development, last season the offensive line play was atrocious, and it just wasn't fair in certain situations. The Cleveland game is a prime example of what you don't want to do with your franchise quarterback. And this went on game after game until Matt Nagy gave up play calling. I don't want to dwell on the past, but it's obvious that last year really isn't a great season to judge Justin Fields off of in regards to his talent and what he could be going forward. Now, I think that he has the right coaches in place that are going to be able to undress the weaknesses and build those parts of his game up by building the foundation, setting the rules for his offense, and a general understanding of how you play offense in their system. Matt Nagy didn't have a system. Matt Nagy had a playbook. You know, there's a big difference. Definitely there is a playbook with plays in there. When you are able to master the rules of the offense, you know, the plays are just kind of like an extension of your thinking. And that's what I think Matt Nagy missed out on. And I think that Luke Getsy is the right guy to come in there and lay this foundation for Justin Fields. But, you know, I'm not going to belabor the point. It's Fourth Quarter Boy Sports. I'm the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life, man. Hit that notification icon. You're notified every time I flip out a video. Holla at your boy. One.